I'm about to see how that's going to work. So now we're not only streaming on both our channels on YouTube, I'm streaming on my personal channel on Facebook as well as Periscope. So now we are streaming on at least 5 platforms that everybody in one form or fashion are very familiar with. Now we're still sending data out, so I started streaming a little bit early today so that I could see how this works and see if this platform, see if what we're doing is worth the investment that I'm making. Yes, and I consider it an investment. I am sending out the chat to see how that's going to look. So we got so it's telling me to reconnect. Facebook, please start streaming to connect to your chat. Okay, I'll do that. Periscope, well, it say 6 of 7 are connected. So I could go on and look and see which 6 are connected. Of course, Facebook, great and early money. The black signal has went out. So we'll give people a couple of seconds to stream in so that we can see what's going on. We still have not come up on YouTube or Facebook, but we up on Periscope and we up on Stream Me. Oh, we're up on my timeline on Facebook, but I'm wondering why this has not went to Gye-Nyame Journey first. I prefer that it would hit Gye-Nyame Journey first because, like I said, I want people to know what we're doing. So for those that may be new, that may be watching this for the first time, this is what we call a daily toast, and every day we come together to toast our personal ancestors. I felt that there was a lack of I ain't gonna say lack of respect, but there was a lack of focus on those individuals that made it possible for us to exist. We toast Marcus Garvey, which is a very honorable toast. Malcolm X, which is another one. Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington. You know what I'm saying? We toast a lot of those, and we can even go back to ancient ancestors. But when it came to us toasting our personal ancestors, I felt that we were falling short. So I'm going to put the call in line. I'm going to send this out to see how many people is in there that might want to come up and share. I'm going to tell y'all how to get on. Call in 614-6-4535. Cool, let's do that. I need to open up the phone lines. All right, 4 succeeded. It don't tell me on which platforms it succeeded to go out on, but that's cool too. So what I need to do, I forgot to bring up the Uber conference so that we can also have a quick chat because I'm about to get up out of town for a couple of hours, maybe longer than that, but it is what it is, right? So we're going to start conference. We'll start this conference call, so excuse the noise, family. Then we'll get right into what we're supposed to be doing. So those that are interested in adding your ancestors to the list, because our list has been growing over the last, we're moving on to year number 2.
First participant the hold while we wait for the others to join.
The way that you get on our list, the way that you get your ancestors on the list is you text 614-300-1875 and you post up your ancestors. Or if you are able to get through on the chat, because once again, I want to apologize to those that are commenting. I'm still mastering this. I'm still trying to figure out how to make sure that we all can see it. So I have to go. I guess I have to go on and post the stream somewhere so that people can see all of the chat. So what I might end up doing is downloading the chat onto Gye-Nyame-Journey.com. So those people that's watching, you can just open up another window and consider, please add Miss Gina Evans to the list. All right, let's do that. Hey, Clea, can you bring me, what's up, Mr. Andre? Can you bring me a pen? So, Miss Cindy Johnson, is this Sister Cynthia? So I could, because I still got room up under your stuff. Thank you, sir. Any other ancestors that need to be added? Shouts out to Brother Andre. I hope I'm saying it right. All right. And for those, the show oftentimes is also an excellent way to drop what you need. So we got people on YouTube, we got people on Facebook, but what I don't see is which Facebook it is. So cool. Mr. Andre, are you plugging in with us through my Facebook page, Hatem Gye-Nyame, or are you on Gye-Nyame Journey? I guess Gye-Nyame Journey would show, so you probably on my page. Trying to find where Sister sent. There they go. There you go. And you said, is it John or Gene Evans? Oh my God, my kids is playing in the tub. Evans. Let me. Evans. All right, and family, I take this ancestor stuff seriously. So like I said, make sure you the second one, John. Miss Tylese is on here. Shouts out Miss Tylese. Okay, so now they let me see stuff. Those that are so Shaka, why you ain't on Gye-Nyame Journey, man? Gye-Nyame Journey is not streaming yet. That's some bullshit. That is some bullshit. Alright, so Gye-Nyame Journey, the main platform on which I'm reaching out is not up. So Tylee's talking about water fight. Laughing out loud. Yeah, they upstairs in the tub. Hey, close the bathroom door, because I gotta get ready. I gotta pick up my mom in a couple of minutes. So I want to give people opportunity. The lines are open. We can have us a quick conversation, but I'm gonna be getting out of here in about, so we got 60 minutes. So I want to run through the libations. The toast. Gene. No, it's like Gene. Okay, Gene. Cool, thank you. Or Jen. Because that's say Jen, Miss Cynthia. You know what I'm saying? So, is it a male or female? That will clear it up for me. Jen. Alright. Alright, cool. Here we go, family. Let's get it popping. I'm just trying to hold off because I'm so hurt that my Facebook, the Gye-Nyame Journey page is not kicking it up right now. But we live on Facebook, stream.me, Periscope. We are live on both YouTube channels, Gye-Nyame Journey, as well as my personal YouTube page, because we're constantly reaching out, family. Make sure you like and share the video, because we might be able to get into some good stuff today. Like with the whole Bill Cosby thing blowing up, everybody talking about Bill Cosby and the case. You know what I'm saying? We got the Kavanaugh thing popping off, and we got all the smoke screens. You know what I'm saying? What happened to the news about is it Botham Jean? You know what I'm saying? Or Botham John, however you say his name, that was murdered in Texas. What about that news? Anybody got any news on that, or we forgot? You see, you understand what I'm saying? Because we got to understand there's a shell game being played here. I got to get your attention over here so I could remove it, so no matter which one you pick, you end up with an empty choice. We have to become the media. Some of us have to become the journalists, the reporters of the news, because all of us have access to these platforms. And for us to use the platforms, or just allow the platform, And for us to just allow the platforms to be used in the way that they are is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Those of us that have the information, good information, even if nothing but 3 people see it, because we got to understand that each person that see it is like each person that sees it is a multiplier. You know what I'm saying? No, it ain't about using 2 browsers. It's about this shit that this shit is just it's becoming whack, and I don't want to have to leave it. You know what I'm saying? But family, actually, the major way to get with us on Gye-Nyame Journey is to follow us on Spreaker. This is a podcasting piece. I do this piece, the visual piece, because this is where most of the people come. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? We like to see people talk to us and stuff like that, and I could dig that. But also, Spreaker is a major piece. If you have an Android phone, you can download the app so that every time I go up, you can know I'm going up. You can also sign up for the black signal. You know what I'm saying? And that's just simply by either one, going to Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook and messaging me. Like Brother Hatim put me on the black signal. Form will be sent to you so you can fill out and get the permission. You can let me know what shows you want me to text you for, what events you want me to text you for, because we got a lot of stuff coming up in the future. So we got shouts out to Brother Joe Berry. I see you out there. We got Brother Mark Cook out there. Of course, Brother Shaka's out there. For all of y'all, I'm going to post it up again. The lines are open, but I'm going to ask to hold off on conversation till after we do the toast. I know I'll be dragging my foot. Call in line is open. 614-556-4535. So let's get it, family. I'm trying so hard to just wait. Now I got a warning signal. Your setting is 3 wrong keyframe interval. They telling me I need to set it for 2, but they don't tell me wrong keyframe. They don't tell me how to change the keyframe interval. So I'm gonna go on and see if I could go on and adjust this keyframe interval real quick. They say I should be using 2. So let's see. Yep, just like I thought. They're not showing me how to change the keyframe interval. So bit rate, FPS, I don't know what none of that stuff mean. Let me go back. So maybe I have to go to the dashboard and try to adjust it that way. I'm just trying to perfect this, family, so bear with me for a second. Okay, here we go, live. But it don't tell me how to switch keyframe interval. So I need to take a note on how to change the keyframe interval. If anybody know what that is, please hit me up and I will adjust it for the next time I'm doing it, because this is the second time I've seen it. The warning sign has went out, but I'm still not on Gye-Nyame Journey. And I apologize to the fam, the Gye-Nyame Journey fam. I really do. I apologize for that. And get back to the fake news. Well, you know, I mean, we gotta be honest. The fake news is only really, I mean, it's fake for us. You know, all the news is fake for us because we got to understand the language. Anything white is universal. So they'll call it the news, and everybody just assume that this news is for everybody. But the fact of the matter is that it's white news. It's not for you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could get some good information from it, but the fact is that it's white news, because it would be foolish of them not to try to maintain what they feel they have built. I don't get mad about that shit, because I understand. People be talking about justice. We want justice. We already did the folktale, family. How can a chicken expect to get justice from a fox? It don't work. You know what I'm saying? Foxes are always going to lean towards their interests, just like groups of people are going to lean towards their interests. And we got to understand we're the only universal people, or at least people with a universal morality where everything we believe is fair. I want you to understand this. Amos Wilson brought this out years ago. If the decision ever comes down to them feeding their children or your children, Your children will always lose. That is a fact of nature. That is a reality that we have to learn to deal with. We might be uncomfortable with it, but we have to understand, family, we have to start putting ourselves first. So even with the news we watch, we got to analyze it from the standpoint of who we are and how it affects our lives. How does the Bill Cosby thing affect our life? How does this thing that's going on with the Supreme Court right now affect our lives? And we have to look at it and analyze it from that standpoint, not from this universal piece that white folks throw out there, because everything to them is them. So they don't have to say white news, they just say news. They don't have to say they don't have to say white entertainment TV, because it's just everybody wants to be like us. And you can't be mad at them for that. You can't be mad at them for that. But what you can be, you can start looking at your stuff and be like, yo, we need to start creating stuff for ourselves. We need to start doing stuff and have a mind state that put ourselves first. When it comes to policies that our politicians or people that we put in office or help put in office, when it comes to us, we can no longer allow them to do the shit that they're doing. Well, we're going to make sure that we cover everybody. And when we cover everybody, you will be involved. No. See, because this is what y'all got to understand, family. And this is what we got to understand. When we are put first, everybody in America benefits. Policy-wise. When they put us first, everybody else benefits. Period. You know what I'm saying? How? I mean, you can't show me one piece of legislation that went through that everybody else haven't figured out how to get involved in. None. So we need to make sure that our interests are put first. Why? Because a lot of y'all in this chat room either have kids or grandkids right now. And if we don't start putting ourselves first and get out of this whole mind state, well, you're just talking about being racist. No, I'm not. I'm just talking about being real about it. We have to take care of our kids. And we can't rely on other people to take care of us. We can't do that. They're not going to look out for our best interests. They're always going to go for their best interests. So we have to understand that we have to start voting for our best interests. So we have to start putting people in place to ask these politicians the real questions. How do you feel about reparations? How do you feel about police brutality against black people? And when they start going back to their taglines, see, because family, as a group of individuals, we have to start, in a sense, funding our own liberation or our own inclusion in whatever one you believe we need. You need to start finding a way to fund it. If you don't do nothing but send $1 to a think, because we got to develop think tanks that could counter some of their shit. Because the first thing they say, well, you talk about white on black violence and police violence on black people. What about black on black violence? You know what I'm saying? Talking point for that. What about white on white violence? Hell, populations that live together tend to harm each other. That happens everywhere. So that's a moot point. We're talking about the police killing our people more than they're killing everybody else. And I want you to stick to the fucking question, man. Don't try to side pimp me. You need some ambrosia too. Okay, I'm bottling it up. Sister Cynthia, before you get on here and say you need, I'm letting it breathe. This batch will be a little bit sweeter because not only do I have another method, but I slipped up and put just a little bit too much honey in this mug. So this one is going to brew. This one is going to take time in your bottles, right? So right now I have my Kwame mix. I have a ginseng mix from one of the elders in the community. I have an original Miss Cynthia's is sitting brewing, and I have one that I call red where I put wache leaves in there. All right. Is this Brother Robert Estes? I agree. But isn't it the long-term goal to not have the mindset to get everyone thinking about greater? Yeah, but in order to get to that, see, because how can I put it? In order to get to that mind state, we have to first start putting our interests in the mix, because it's natural and it's like Rob, if you had to make a choice between somebody else's child and your child, you know what I'm saying? if you have to put your interest of your child in front of other people's children, would you not do that? Would you not provide every opportunity for your child? For us to think that we will all get to a point of total humanity in a system that thrives on teaching people about individualism, a system that teaches people about capitalistic ideals, which means that, because really, if we look at the mind state that we operate on, the mind state allows us to accept the fact that some people have to be at the bottom. So if we accept that mind state, how do we think that's going to bleed into, how do we think that this universal model is going to bleed into the politics? Politics are going to take care of either those that's paying them,
this call is being recorded,
those that group that they represent. So we have to be very clear about that. So we got to be careful when we start going and talking about the universal, the whole universal piece, because we got to understand that even with the universal piece, the way that the West Asians have set up the system, know this, because like I said, I'm not mad at them because I understand, right? Because that's the key hustle. The way they have set it up is that the whole universal piece is them. They are the standard of universally. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so when you look at it, for us to become humanitarians, when everybody else is being taught to put your interest, your personal interest, above everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember, because a lot of us are in that. You know, get your money no matter how you get it. You know what I'm saying? Get it how you live. This is the shit that was said to us when we was young. This is the shit that some of us are saying to some of the young people. Now, it don't matter how you get your money. Get your money. You understand? Get the money. I don't give a fuck if you got to sell weed or cigarettes. Get your money. How do you expect a universal mindset to come up out of that? It's not safe. It's not safe for us to put other people's interests above ours. It's not safe for us to allow individuals to lump us into a group when we have a specific claim. If we're going to take the claim, and if we're going to be here in America, we have a specific claim that's different than every other group. Specific, but we feel wrong when we say it, because it's like it's sort of like you lend somebody $100. You broke as hell, and you might feel a little tinge of guilt because you got to remind this motherfucker that he owe you $100. You know what I'm saying? We're old, and in a sense, as a group, we feel kind of, that's in the past. Let me just know.
Good morning.
How you doing? Great day to you as well, baby. Real life here, Gye-Nyame. Look at it like the food chain. Miss Keisha, how you doing, baby? You know what I'm saying? So, we have to start dealing with it in a format that fits the times. I know where a lot of us want to go, but we have to be honest with ourselves that we're not there. Somebody is on the line, and I got a good idea who this is. Good morning, sir. Hey, where's my bottle of water? Okay, go ahead. Who on the line? Somebody on the line.
Shaka.
What's up, Shaka? I know you. I mean, you just couldn't wait. You couldn't wait. But go ahead, Shaka. What's going on, man? Since I ain't made it to the
man, that's much. I'm gonna wait. You just, I was just trying to,
Get it out. Well, you better get in now, because we gonna start the toast in a minute. So because this is an important piece. We got people chiming in on it, and I want people to understand where I'm coming from, because the whole piece is family. You first. We first. Because I want you to think about any legislation that ever went through for us has benefited everybody. You know what I'm saying? Think about this. If we demand reparations is basically a stimulus package. That's all that shit will be. Because most black folks are going to take any amount of money they get, because we see it every year around tax time. They're going to take it and they're going to stimulate the whole goddamn economy. You understand what I'm saying? So the whole piece is anything that benefits us will benefit everybody else. Because economically, a lot of people don't see this. Because family, I want to stress this to you. I want to stress this to you. Think about this. We are the only people that talk about spending power as if it's a boom. I mean, as if it's the ultimate prize. We got $1.7 trillion of spending power. That's money that you have to spend on basic shit. And I know a lot of us don't be buying the basic shit, you know what I'm saying? Because tennis shoes ain't included in that, or some of the other shit that people be looking at. But really, family, we the only people that talk about our spending. But you never hear white America, Asians, Hispanics talking about spending power. We the only ones that brag about it and then turn around and beat each other up because the basic money that I got for survival and to provide my kids with shit is what I'm spending. We don't have disposable income. The little shit we get is trinkets to help us make us feel good in the fucked up situation that most of us are in. Hold on. I'm sorry. I ain't been reading the comments, so I'm gonna start I read brother Miss Cynthia Johnson said, what does Kwame drink? Kwame has his own top secret mixture of herbs and spices in his ambrosia that is specifically his. So we have called that mix the Kwame mix. And if Kwame don't mind, I will share. Well, I'm going to let Kwame go on and let me know that I go and share his. But I did the shit on the show before. His has black seed, dandelion. We can't find burdock right now. And ginseng mixed into his. So Kwame got his own mixture. You know what I'm saying? That gives him the super ability that empowers the Yoda in him, so that he could go on and stay calm in crazy situations that Brother Hatim start yelling and slapping tables and flipping shit over in, right? This is the mix that allowed Kwame to turn into the Black Yoda. Brother Robert said, yeah, I hear you. I agree. Capitalism drives those ideals. Look, my daughter, Miss Keisha Harris, good morning to you, says, look at it like a food chain. Can we link today? I got to go to Akron, baby. I got a family emergency, so I'm going to be gone possibly all day. So that's so much for my haircut and shit. Let Shaka talk, please. Trying to make people drunk now. I don't understand. Miss Cynthia say, true. Well, I'm still drunk, Auntie Talise, Ladybug, Brown Watson, and I can't blame my dad. Go on, Talise. And Keisha, I'm alcoholic. All right. Miss Sidget, yeah, but where are we spending it? What are we spending it on? Now, if you really look at the spending power, Sister Cynthia, a majority of that money is going towards the basic living expenses. That money, that $1.7 trillion that they always trying to beat us up about, that we beat ourselves up about, is going on a majority of it is going on basic essentials. That's like rent, that's like gas, that's like electricity, water, that's car payments, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, a lot of the other expendables. Now, when you compare the slight 1.7 trillion in spending power that we have, compare it to the rest of America. And why is it? I mean, that spending power thing that we kind of jump on is actually something created by, I think it's the Nielsen Corporation, that they use to get people to go on and feel like they got more money to spend than they really do. Understand, man, let's don't fool ourselves on the trinkets. We are buying trinkets. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people say, well, we combine the trinket money, but hell, we can't plan a celebration without some bullshit popping off. Hell, we can't even plan our lives without some emergency situation popping up. You know what I'm saying? I had a plan for the day. I had a little bit of money put away for some of the shit that I was going to do. But then all of a sudden out the blue, I find out something that I got to go on and get some money together so that I can go down here and see what's going on with some of my people. You understand what I'm saying? And while I'm down in Akron, I feel that it would be a personal sin and I would be a fucking hypocrite if I didn't take the time to stop into a family restaurant that's down there. Yep, I'm going to my uncle's restaurant. Yep. My son is excited about it. So, Shaka, you better go and talk, man, because we ain't going to. Cynthia said, yeah, but where are we spending it? Okay, Brother Kwame. Yeah, and Sister Cynthia, for anybody out there that is in the family and you want your own personal ambrosia, you know what I'm saying? We're going to put it together for you as well. You know what I'm saying? But if you get the Kwame mix, you will be forever drinking Brother Kwame juice. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. Okay, thank you, Miss Cynthia, because I've been struggling at every place I went. They don't have the fucking burdock root. For those that don't understand, Gye-Nyame Journey is a mixed platform. We talk about news, we talk about proverbs, we talk about all this shit, and it all relates back to where we are today. It follows up on a cool. Okay, Keisha laughing. Travel mercies, be safe. Oh shit, baby, you know what? You know, I already got a good idea of how I'm gonna lead this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I'm like, I feel you on the shit. We pulling for the ancestors every day. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have none of your ancestors on the list, Keisha Harris. I'm kind of hurt. We're doing libations, and we have been doing it every day. And I have not got a majority of my own children, people on the list. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? What the hell? How we build like that? Let me check. I'm gonna check.
Hello.
Go ahead. Oh,
Hello.
somebody else on. Come on, girl. You whoever that is, you better jump in. You know how I get.
Sheila.
Who is this?
Okay. This is CeeLo. CeeLo.
Oh, what's up, CeeLo?
There's one problem.
Go ahead.
Hello. There's one big. I have one big problem with what you just said.
Go ahead.
About the spending.
Go ahead.
Because we about to head into it right now.
Oh, tax season?
November to December, we spend so much goddamn money. We spend almost 30% of what we make for the year in less than 2 goddamn months. So I'm sorry, we don't need to participate in that bullshit. First off, and it's ridiculous the amounts of money that we spend. I'm done.
I hear you. Now, but let's.
Did she just drop a microphone on the top of the show?
You said who? She just she slammed that mother. She jumping on the guy. But hey, I mean, like I said, and go ahead, Shaka. I'm not discounting what she's saying, because there is a point at where we can do something. Now, but to the extent that a lot of people are saying. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, man, when we look at the numbers, if we're going to look at the numbers, let's look at the amount of wealth that the median black family has. That's $1,700. And that's about how much we spend every year on these holidays that you're talking about. So really when it comes hold on, and then even with some of the businesses, CeeLo,
they spend more than that. They spend more than that. My mama, as broke as she was, we got raised on my daddy's Social Security, VA, and food stamps. During that time period, she didn't pay her rent, so she was 2 months behind come January. She spent $500 per kid on 3 children. She didn't have that kind of money. And if she was spending that back then, I know what folks are spending right now. They're spending about $1,000 on their kids each because they got to give their kids a quote-unquote good Christmas. What the fuck?
But hold on. Time out. But hold on, CeeLo. You got to take into account. Because some
inflation,
people... No, not inflation. No.
Why are we doing it? Why are we doing it?
Because a majority...
If we put that money into the village, what could we do?
But most of those people that's spending that money don't belong to the village. Most of those people don't belong to the village. Most of those people don't.
That's my point.
But
That's my point. We need to focus. We need to focus on getting them out of that system.
What we have to do is
out of that matrix.
What we have to do is we have to build something so that they can come to. Do you understand?
See, this is what I'm saying, man, and this is why, like, it's so important that we see things from this scope, because with just a little bit of territory, we can build self-sustainability, and we just one step away from it. I'm saying, me in this Cleveland environment, where I'm trying to, establish that, but y'all already got a central place to be able to build and grow. You know what I mean? So it's the transformation is not necessarily focusing on what we coming out of, but what we getting into. And in order for us to be able to change that behavior amongst our tribe and neighboring communities, we have to set precedents first. And no one's going to see it if we don't have a territory where that behavior is standard.
Now that he raising it, see, and the point is, So let me read some of the stuff. Joe Berry say, just bottle me up something. I got you, Joe. Also, Shaka will be in town next week because he's going to bring down that heart stuff. Miss Keisha said, I pour libation.
Wait, time out. On that, hot tip, you going to be in Akron. Listen, if I had those Gobies today, I would definitely have a whole batch.
I hear you.
You know, that heart stuff. And,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Are you going to make it? Can you make it to Akron? Because the issue for me is that I got to get my kids ready, and I have an elder on the verge of death. So the last thing on my mind right now is actually Scobies. You understand what I'm saying? I'm doing the show because it's a responsibility to the village. You know what I'm saying? It's a responsibility to our tribe. You know what I'm saying? But I will bring them if you're going to be able to meet me in Akron. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I had to go and get the car stuff situated. I could get my kids situated. And like I said I got to do the toast this early so that it won't be hindering anything as far as the rest of the way everything else is going to flow. Miss Keisha said, I pour libation this morning at St. Stephen's. Baby, you ain't got to pour libations outside. Brother Hatim, we doing it every morning. Every morning. You know what I'm saying? You can catch up. You know what I'm saying? I know you be sleeping late and dreaming about food, but you can catch us every morning. We be doing it between 5:15 and 5:30. I try to keep it within that time frame. I'm starting to learn the system a little bit. Now I'm able to stream. I'm streaming on more channels now. Sister Cynthia says, oh, I didn't know Mama CeeLo cuss. Listen, piss CeeLo off. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When you piss her off.
Yeah, I'm good till you piss me the fuck off.
See, and
that whole Christmas shit pisses me the fuck off. First off, it's the first word. Christ. We in white Jesus land. And when black folks go to white Jesus land, I'm pissed.
Now, and we have to understand, we have to be able to shape and mold something for them to become part of. And then, because my whole piece is, those of us that are in the know, we have to start combining funds so that, as Shaka said, we got to be, so that we can have a place where we could demonstrate the behaviors that we will model, better yet, demonstrate and model.
And not only that, check this out. We have to anticipate the energies as well, because that can work in our favor if we have a vision that we can draw people into, especially one that's so fundamental to our community. Building, so dig this. What I'm saying is that is when people are most philanthropic. So, and also, a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
That's true.
So, in terms of what it is that we're looking for right now, my whole piece is taking everything that I've been pitching to Tribe and moving along in this, mixed media piece where people can see and visualize and whatever campaigns I put together to be able to achieve whatever monetary source needs to happen. I don't care if it's a $3 million goal. If we are showing that, this is important to us and not just a Shaka campaign, you know what I mean, then we can have it. We can have it. And it's not going to cost much for us to be able to get there. We just have to have, first of all, have the collective desire, the will to be able to put forth whatever it takes. I mean, because see, and here's the other piece, is that I guarantee you that all the audience, the listeners right now, all of those who do contribute to the season, the amount that you contribute collectively is probably more than what we need to be able to plant our flag.
So, Brother Kwame said, how do you really feel, Diane? You're talking about where you got up on here. It's like placing money in the hands of extremely challenged persons and expecting them to do right by themselves. So how can you blame the people when they don't know any better? That's from Sister Keisha. Once we get the village built, people will come. Sister Keisha, and if people aren't really nation building, how and where can they unlearn what has been instilled? There is only limited people who want to change their behavior, though. That's my sister, the ladybug. Safe travel.
People don't know what they want.
See, but the point
You
is,
know what? It would be.
well, hold on, bro.
But what we don't understand is it's a form of mental illness. When you do things that are actually against your own self-interest,
Right.
which is going bankrupt every year and digging yourself out somewhere around the spring, by the time you pay off all those bills, catch up your mortgage or your rent, if you let that go because you was playing with White Jesus and Santa Claus. How we have so much unaddressed mental illness in our community. It is just over the top for me. That is mentally ill to go against your own self and best interest.
Now, but hold on. I believe that me being able to give my children a reward during a certain season is healthy. And I believe that somebody being mad about it is mental illness as well. So we got to...
Reward?
Yes.
A reward?
Yeah, oh, yeah. See, but what I'm saying is... CeeLo.
You know what?
CeeLo.
There is absolutely nothing that my child needs come December that she didn't already get. In fact, right now, I got in my cart a brand new MacBook for that child. You buy your kids what they need, what you want them to have. You gift them every day of their life. If you want to buy your child something, why it got to be this?
Because that's when I have scheduled to spend that money for. See, the issue is, because Keisha bring up a very good point, because they don't see any incentive, and as long as the government is offering what is needed for livelihood, why would they sacrifice their comfortable for a situation that could be worse? Look at what we do to each other. I'm all for cooperative economics, but where do we get there? And the whole piece is, one of the ways that we can solve this is by doing as in Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad said, if you place a dirty glass of water next to a clean glass of water, the people will pick the clean glass of water. Are we as a collective, are we as a tribe providing and letting people know about the clean water that we have? You know what I'm saying? Because there's people out here right now who are questioning the very same things. But sometimes when we address them with such aggression that it knocks motherfuckers off. I ain't dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't address people with aggression.
Oh, goddamn. Did she just switch up on us? Was that me? Or
aggression, I express it to you all because you all are enlightened.
Well, you ain't got to beat up on us because we know.
I would never come at somebody.
I thought you was talking about me, and I thought you was talking about my white Jesus.
My whole family is in that mess.
You can't get on here and talk about my white Jesus and the dear old Santa Claus like that and expect me to be able to conversate with you, CeeLo.
Santa Claus.
No, one, how you know Jesus ain't Puerto Rican? Hey, but listen, the whole piece though.
Oh, here we go.
the whole piece about the holidays. Listen. You know, I'm pretty sure that there's a Puerto Rican Jesus. I'm sure there's a few of them. Look,
Puerto Rican Jesus is always late because he's so close to the black Jesus. Listen, man. Come on now. We need a Santa Claus.
But when it comes to
Jesus,
so let's identify the behavior. We are identifying the behavior. We are identifying the behavior and the transition from that behavior, into a healthy behavior is really understanding and putting into context our personal values and being able to find the commonality, which is real and which is functional in our households and the integrity of our community, and being able to make a shift. That's how Kwanzaa was introduced, right? And it created, over the years, it created and it stimulated a new behavior because it was, I think it was just time, and that's what people were looking for. But what's necessary right now is that we tribe up in the most
there you go.
In a primitive way, in a survival hood way, because I'm telling you this, what people don't see is that when the lights go out, the systems don't exist. The systems that perpetuate this whole fear-based behavior. It doesn't exist. So after 7 days, how do you survive in that climate? How do you survive knowing that within 7 days, your own neighbors would be pirating your cupboards to feed their house? And what do? We prepare right now for that.
But we also, because preparing or developing a culture enables you to deal with all situations. See, because I don't want people just gathering because of the end of the world predictions, because that's what
of longevity and health in the light as well as in the dark. Yo, our children will thrive, and they know it just like we know it, which is why right now we got to fight for it. Because, like you said, Hatim, if it comes down to their children eating and ours, come on, man. Right now we make the decision.
Right now.
Yo,
I agree 100%.
Right now, your kid can come develop this garden. My kid can develop this red June and this media, this art. And we are breeding a culture of nation builders. When they understand their place. And that's what I love about the programming that I follow. I mean, you learn a lot from Hollywood, because a lot of times, and we got to pay attention, because a lot of times there are those within that industry who have created their own underground railroad. If you've ever watched the show and you click with that show and you see the message that show is stimulating, like, yo, when you put it in the context in real time, there's some shows out here that's really telling us what we need to see, in terms of our own survivalhood. Did you ever get into that show?
I don't. I try not. I have a few shows that I watch, and I try not to add until I'm done with what's going on. I want to apologize. Hold on.
Revolution.
I want to apologize to those on YouTube, Facebook in advance, Periscope, because the stream dropped and shit. I don't know what's. I'm gonna figure this shit out. But go on. Let Black Yoda go on real quick. Go on.
Go ahead.
I'm just listening in. I'm eating breakfast.
Okay. Brother Joe.
So you called so we can hear you eat your breakfast? Really?
No, the signal keep dropping.
Sounds like honeycomb.
You done chased them off the line. Oh, okay. No, dang. Who hung? All right, CeeLo done hung. She got so mad she done pushed the goddamn button. She back. You made her so mad she pushed the goddamn button. See, CeeLo, I need
the wrong button, Paul.
See, Miss CeeLo, you got the sisters out here like, damn, I didn't know CeeLo was like that. Now, come on, now you supposed to be the wild card. Now you letting everybody know you the wild card, man. Come on. All right, but hey.
Y'all do something with me with that.
I told you White Jesus was all.
It is at the heart. Okay, but
leave White Jesus alone.
Let's be constructive.
I'm just fucking with y'all.
Let's be constructive.
Go ahead.
One of the things I said we should be doing right now is sitting down, putting together our planning calendar for next year. What festivals we're going to do. We need to put together our cultural stabilizers on the book, setting those dates right now. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Are we gonna have
while you on that? Are we
gonna have a Juneteenth?
Are we gonna have a who?
Are we gonna have a Juneteenth?
Absolutely.
Oh. Now you already know.
So let me chime in and just remind you that, number one, I'm really wanting to participate in the Kwanzaa piece. So whoever dealing with that, just make sure we stay in the loop. But leading up to that, even, I want to be able to have at least one symbiotic cipher in Columbus. So that's the event where, Hatim and I or myself are able to bring our ferments and explain, the process of symbiosis. So in a way that affects the way that we move together. And also it's a performance event. So all the performers. It's a symbiotic cipher. So, but I want to do one of those before Juneteenth, before Kwanzaa, so that during Kwanzaa we have some type of precursor of,
Damn, YouTube is still
of what's to come.
All right, hold on. Miss Keisha says, somebody else just joined us. Miss Keisha said, because they don't see any incentives as long as the government is offering needed livelihood. I said that already. But one of the things that's changing with the Great Pumpkin is that these tax changes will eliminate a lot of that. All we have to do is start practicing what we're talking about. And see, though, we can come together because like every other, I was about to say every other Kaumba we meet. We got the movie night next week as well. We can actually hook up before the movie night, and
we're doing Kwanzaa. But who's doing Kwanzaa? Whose coffers is the money going in?
Hold on, now
got a problem with that.
Hold on,
but
hold on. Now this
on
the
good news. On the good news front, officially as of Friday, the Lishi Foundation, which is for the establishment and perpetuation of culturally appropriate standards of excellence, is officially recognized by the state of Ohio as a nonprofit corporation.
Okay.
Paperwork is going in this week for my 501c3.
Okay.
Continue.
Now, what I'm saying is, like I said, we have to address that. I mean, we can address it on air or off air. Right now, Tawee does Kwanzaa. And I'm like, yo.
You know I'm not doing it with them. You know that, right?
Hold on. See, but then this is because this is part of, this goes back into some of the mental illness that you're talking about as well.
No,
see, because, we're clashing. We're clashing.
No.
Listen. All right, I hear you. Okay. But like I said, this is part of, for me, this is part of the piece. My role is to smooth out all roads. Period. Because as a people, we already got a Kwanzaa popping off. So people want to do another Kwanzaa? That's crazy.
I ain't saying do another Kwanzaa.
Well, what I'm saying
there is another way to do it.
Yeah, and we demonstrated.
They are essentially pimping us out. They sit back and rake it in while we go out and do all the work. They're going to call and say, when the Vita going to start doing the movie night for Kwanzaa? What, motherfuckers? And y'all sat there and didn't even give proper accounting of what was even done by the people. Oh, no.
CeeLo.
Sometimes the elders are wrong. Sometimes they need to apologize and make amends with the village. I'm sorry. They were, and they do, and they are.
CeeLo, I hear you. But at the point where we are,
moving over crap ain't working for me. You don't just move over the crap. You deal with it. You dig the stones out the road before you pave them over.
CeeLo, for me, primary is the cultural stabilizing holidays. Period. Now, elder shit, young folk shit, I don't give a fuck. Kwanzaa needs to happen, and we all need. Wait, hold on. Because the ritual.
I'm saying you ain't got to pave over and smooth over crap.
Well, hold on. We didn't have to do that. We didn't have to do that with the Malcolm X fight. We already got a funding mechanism so that we could put the money where we believe that it needs to go. We have already created all that. You were part of that. You already know that if we want to raise funds, like to do this in the way that we want to do it, or to contribute as who we are, we can do that. They're not stopping that.
You've established Gye-Nyame Journey as a 501c3?
I don't want. I prefer to work with other 501(c)(3)s because Gye-Nyame Journey is a corporation, a limited liability corporation eventually, and I want to be able to make it a corporation because I don't think we need to hit everything from a nonprofit angle. That's just my personal view. I want us to be looking at business. I don't want to be dealing with the government as far as that non-tax shit because once you get established, they gonna attack you on that shit. I'm like, yeah, we're a business. We're gonna pay taxes the way we're supposed to pay taxes, and we're gonna be able to provide jobs. That's the whole goal for me. I don't give a fuck about a nonprofit. My issue is I could work with other nonprofits, which Tawee is, which your organization will be as well. You know what I'm saying? My issue is, how can we all work together? Because I don't agree with everything and I don't get along with everybody. But if it means that my children going to have a safe place to run around between December 26th and January 1st and be able to be treated and see other people look like them in running things, then I'm going to move the shit out the way. I'm going to wipe out where I need to be, and I'm going to make it happen. See, because I have an opportunity to step back and see several sides of things, and everybody's not right. And my issue is, it benefits me, and it don't benefits me or the community for me to decide on taking sides. My issue is cultural stabilizing holidays. You asked about Juneteenth.
Right is right, and wrong is wrong.
See, but listen, CeeLo, you're dealing in, how can I put it? You're dealing in a universe that deals with polarities. You can't have all right.
Wrong.
Okay,
Needs to
cool.
be called out. Wrong needs to be
But
called
listen,
out.
but once you call it, but CeeLo, y'all done called it out. You done took your stand. What more do you want? If I view the world and I say
I voiced my displeasure with it, but it was glossed over. No, it was not dealt with. It was not dealt with.
CeeLo, you dealt with it.
You let me say what I had to say, and you acknowledged what I had to say, but it still has not been dealt with.
CeeLo, now once again, that's that capitalist mind state. You want it to be addressed for you. Now, and that's cool. And maybe it will be. See, because you think that somebody that's wrong. Do you know why a lot of families let rape within the family go? Do you know? I mean, you could be incensed about it, but the overall family is like, well, on some bullshit, right? It be on some hee-haw bullshit. But this the whole piece. The thing that you have to do, what you did was, boom, I disagree with what y'all did, and I'm not going to participate in anything else that you're doing. Now, your presence is missed. Elders' presence is missed. But hold on, you're laughing, but I'm very serious. I'm very serious. And in dealing with it, but listen, now, we don't deal with it because it's convenient. And when it becomes painful enough, then people will deal with it. But now, I have to sacrifice Kwanzaa for that? Do I have to sacrifice a situation where I could bring 1,000 black people in Columbus?
No one asked you to sacrifice Kwanzaa.
But what I'm saying is, and then you want them to address your issues personally when it wasn't just an affront to you. It was an affront to a lot of people. So there needs to be an overall apology.
That is what I want. And that is what I want. I don't want anything done for me.
Now, when it comes, there'll be something else. Trust me. I've been doing this shit for a long time. You understand what I'm saying? So, because it's going to come. It's going to have to come. And it's going to have to be addressed. But the issue right now is making sure that we are able to take control of what we have. Set up examples, because we can't be beefing. We can't be having these beefs going on, at least publicly. You understand? At least publicly, because basically what I've been trying to tell y'all for the longest is that we are developing basically a two-party system, goddammit. That's what's going on. Democrats and Republicans. This is what we got in the conscious community. And until we start being able to address that and understand that all of our views are not going to align, but we still have to get the work done. You know what I'm saying? We got a motherfucker that ain't no good, but we still family.
Call it what you want to call it.
It's more of a pimps and hoes situation. That's what it is.
Hey, listen. One thing that I know, I have always been a bad hoe. I'm better at pimping. I was raised as a pimp. Matter of fact, I wasn't even raised as a pimp. I was raised as somebody that I was raised as somebody that know how to do shit. And my piece is, I know how to tie in because I understand that we're going to have to have. See, what's going to happen when we have to lay motherfuckers down? Are we going to cut the motherfuckers that's willing to lay motherfuckers down off because they chose to cut somebody off that really needed to be cut off? We're going to have to get our hands dirty in different forms, because if we're living in a universe a universe based on polarity, you're going to have both sides. We're not always going to see eye to eye. We're going to need some people to step back and be like, hey, we need to look at both sides, and we need to go on and find a way to get enough peace so that we can get done what we need to get done. But when we just shut off and be like, I ain't fucking with them, that's what's fucking up the community now. That's what we do. I'm not fucking with y'all.
I did not say that. I said I want a proper, appropriate amends and healing and restitution to be made so that we can come back together. But you just say, just go, shut up, go along and get along.
No.
You over that bullshit. No, I actually want the opposite. I would like for them to come correct, fix the bullshit, fix the organizational structure that's completely out of line in terms of being what's best for the village. I don't want to not participate with Hawi. That's what I keep trying to tell you. I want it fixed.
CeeLo.
So, Hatem,
go ahead.
Hatem, I understand it, and what I've been trying to say all along is that for the role that you have just declared that you play, what she's demanding is a sit-down, a mediation, so that moving forward, she knows that she is valued in the mix and not just being strung along for labor force.
Listen,
I get it.
Listen. CeeLo knows that she hasn't been strung along like that because she wouldn't allow herself to be strung along like that. CeeLo is part of the Gye-Nyame family, so she could be mad. But that's, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're working it out in the way that we know how. You understand what I'm saying? There was a sit down that we had discussions. We had motherfuckers cussing each other out. We had arguments brewing about this whole piece, but it takes time for individuals who have been doing things in a certain way for so long to go and decide and be like, damn, well, maybe we did mess up.
But they haven't been told that.
Yes, they have.
They?
Listen,
specifically that.
You were sitting in the room. You were sitting in the room when Elder Renee got shit. Elder Renee don't bring. He don't. No, wait, hold on. Elder Renee has not only.
Did we have to sit down? That was supposed to be had.
Who they supposed to sit down with?
Somebody missing from that room.
Who they supposed to sit down with?
From that room.
Who they supposed to sit down with? Because everybody that I believe that they need to sit down with was in that room, but possibly one person. And that apology could take place.
Well, that was a pretty significant person.
Hold on.
That's the person that they have demonized. That's the person that they have demonized. That's the person who should have been in the room. That person has never been talked to by them. No. So it was not proper. We got to vent about it, but I ain't the person that they venerated.
Now, my issue, listen, I'm not, how can I put it? You know, when I started disagreeing with what my elders was doing, I kept building. That's why I got somebody on here right now calling me down. I just didn't walk away from everything that I had established. I don't do that. I keep on because I have a responsibility to other people. And regardless of how I felt about some stuff, when I was able to plug my stuff into stuff that the village was doing, I did. But far as business-wise or whatever I was doing, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I had developed the structures where I could go on and handle my business. Right? And throughout this community, because what I'm trying to let you know, CeeLo, we're gonna get over this hump, and then something else is gonna come up. And if every time something come up, we decide that I'm not fucking with them or I'm not building with them, we will always be fragmented. We know in every other group. Hold on. We know in every other group.
They're not building shit. They are maintaining the status quo, and they're just pimping. That's what they're doing.
But the status quo that they are maintaining is theirs. Do you understand? The status quo that they are maintaining is theirs, and is one that opposes the same enemy that you oppose.
They what?
The enemy that they oppose is the same enemy that you oppose.
Which one is that? the white Jesus Christmas that they celebrate? Which enemy is that? We do not.
I don't know.
Have an enemy.
Hold on, time out.
No, we do not.
Time out.
No, we do not. No, we do not.
I don't.
No, we do
I don't.
not.
I don't agree with that because all of them don't celebrate that.
Critical issue. Order in the court. If we do not know who the enemy is, then we end up fighting each other, mistaking each other for the enemy. I said, and what the white man and woman has done to us as black people, how we have to come close to doing that kind of thing. How we has done what is in any family.
Right on. And you know,
Gye-Nyame is supposed to be about bringing about the change.
Right.
Now, and we don't do that by just separating ourselves. That makes us more vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand what you're saying, CeeLo, that the problem hasn't been addressed, but you make the assumption that it's not being addressed. Hell, Tim and I are constantly talking to the elders on these matters. We're constantly talking to the elders on these matters.
Okay. Well, I haven't received any progress report, so I wouldn't know.
CeeLo, you're on the show.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you know, if you look, I heard some of the things you believe need to happen for the family to become whole again. Now, I just had a talk with one on just that very same thing. He asked me, well, what do you think some of the problems are? What do you think I said? Yes, I said the Makeda piece has not been dealt with properly. And then I listed some other things. But perhaps when you have some time, if you could write up for me how you think some of these things should be addressed, then these are the things I can start introducing into the conversation so that we can adequately address it. No, I do not believe it's going to be addressed necessarily to your satisfaction, but the point is that we have to be able to address one another so that we're not trying to tear each other down and we can build up each other or build around each other. But the fact is that we need to be building together.
Or at least in the same.
Can I chime in?
Go ahead, bro.
We have to, as a collective, as individuals of the collective, we have to accept, remind ourselves and each other that we are all works in progress. CeeLo, your nonprofit is a work in progress. Tim, your LLC is still a work in progress. My point is that if we were doing this by any real standard business, we are creating a living document that is ever changing. But when it comes to the concerns that we have and the divides that we have, so that we don't have to be so confrontational in explaining where the disconnect happens, that's where that living document comes in handy. That's where right now, anybody who is serious about building and supporting what it is that, my ventures, right now, it's a hard thing for me to be able to maintain that and maintain, family standards and whatever goes on. But this is where we are called into right now, and that's what it takes. So I'm saying that because a lot of what we're dealing with can be nullified just by moving appropriately and moving in more than just a casual professional sense.
Now, Shaka, this is where I disagree with you at. Let me be clear about where I disagree with you at. Humans will always produce human shit. Even if you have a document.
Wait.
Hold on.
Come closer to your mic or something.
Okay, I said humans will always produce human shit. It's always inevitable that even if we document shit, We are going to establish individuals through a free mind, which we want everybody to have, to see that document in a different way. If not, then we're talking about tyranny and the rulership of one. If we are talking about people thinking, people are going to read shit and they're going to take it to an extreme. Now, I'm one to believe in the way of a warrior. A warrior is one who is experienced and involved in conflict, and I understand that there are conflicts that are going to arise. Now, me being who I am, I'm the Pisces. I have to find a way to bring peace. As CeeLo say, sometimes I have to sweep the shit away. Sometimes I got to clean it all the way up. Sometimes I got to throw the rug over it so that CeeLo and other people don't have to get their feet dirtied in it. But I need to make sure that I get everybody and keep everybody traveling at least in the same direction. Period. You know what I'm saying? So even when you're creating a living document, for example, there is a living document.
You're absolutely right, Hatem, and I'm not at conflict. I'm not at odds at anything that you're saying. What I'm saying, however, is that you, of all people, should pay attention to the fact that the road to success in this country is coded. That means that there's a certain protocol to be able to open and access certain doors. That means that when we don't follow that protocol, then we're making up our own. And if we don't have our own wealth to be able to share at the end of that rainbow, or whatever, however you want to identify, then we're fooling ourselves. We're creating our own our own state of disillusion. We're talking about that mental illness. We're creating that illusion of wealth where the wealth actually does exist within the system, but we're not following the protocol to access it. If we're talking about access because what we're at is essential, then that's the language, that's the allegory that we need to tell, and that's how we access the dollars from the philanthropists. There's more than enough of that to go around, but if you don't follow the protocol to ask the question, if you're not knocking, you're not going to get that opportunity.
Now,
so that's why CeeLo has to follow protocol of nonprofit to be able to access some of that functionality.
Shaka. Now, one of the key assumptions under all this is that if you follow all the rules, you will be able to have access to A, B, C, and D. Now, one of the things that I think we're erroneous in is that this has not been something that has been done before, right? You nor CeeLo are the first to get 501(c)(3)s. And if there's so much money out there, why are folks still fighting over getting it? Now, my piece is I believe in a multi-pro. See, me actually seeing, me being in a place where I got to see battle, I understand it take place on all fronts, right? So yeah, we need the nonprofit on. We need those that are staunch in what they believe and those who are able to be flexible in what they believe. We need those that are willing to kill. We need those that's willing to be able to preserve life. A society or a tribe is a combination of all these pieces. And all I'm saying is getting all the pieces working, at least going in the same direction. We don't even have to agree. See, because this is where people get it wrong with me. I don't have to agree with shit you do. But if we're moving in the same direction and your interest is not fucking up mine, because like I said, I understand the role of Seth. I'm not, Seth don't piss me off. He really don't. I understand the role of it. I understand why he was put in the myths in the way he was. Brer Rabbit don't piss me off.
And if there's so much money out there, why are you fighting? It don't piss me off. He really don't.
Man, the connection is messing up.
I see. Mm-hmm. Who is that on? Who else on the line? Somebody else on the line?
No, that was my call.
The boss is on the line.
Your question, it's very simple, Hatem. It's very simple. Is that when RFPs go out on a regional level, Shaka, everybody around you that's
Shaka. Now, you are taking for granted that you or anybody else in our circle is the first to do this. Dr. Kelsey ran an organization, and an organization still being run on grants.
Not being taken for granted, Hatem.
Putting in context is what it is. And this is what I need for you to understand, is that all of that is great. And if we were situated in a real system where we are able to stand on our ancestors' shoulders, then that will be strength for us. But what I hear in CeeLo's anger is that it's not set up that way. Just like you got to understand, like for me, when I was 25, I was one of the youngest Shriners in Columbus. But the piece is that when it came down to the advancement from that point on, the elders didn't want to pass that down to a 25-year-old. They didn't.
What the hell is that?
What's going on?
CeeLo driving right now.
Somebody.
Okay, all right. So, had the person not been driven away, she had actually begun to contribute $150 a month of her paycheck. CeeLo. Her next step was to go to the Key Code of Columbus, which is black folks in this city that gives over $1,000 a year to the United Way, and ask if any number of them wanted to also divert their donation to the United Way to Highway Village on a monthly basis. This is the type of sustainable, perpetuating income coming in month after month after month after month. But that's some nation building right there.
CeeLo.
My point to you is this.
CeeLo.
They are not building or stagnating.
CeeLo, listen.
That could have been moving us forward tremendously. Do you know how much money we would have by now?
CeeLo.
If that had been allowed to go ahead and perpetuate itself the way that it could have,
CeeLo.
They didn't want anybody to bring forth any progressive ideas, any progressive input. They wanted to keep doing it the way they're doing it.
CeeLo.
No. We've got to do it.
CeeLo. Did you not go out and start your own nonprofit? See, this is wait, hold on.
It's not fixed. We can't keep just sweeping this trash under the rug. It needs to be fixed. If this organization is going to be in place and we're going to use it as a vehicle, if it's not helping us build, then it's helping us go fucking backwards.
CeeLo.
You are moving forward or you are going backwards.
No. Sometimes you could be stuck in neutral. Now, CeeLo. The funds that you're talking about would be great, but do you know what would happen if we're not ready and funds come in to the organization? Do you know what? Do you know what would happen? I mean, let's say they worked it out. CeeLo, I've been involved in this in a long time, and it ain't one person that can fix some of the shit that we going through. I don't give a fuck what their skills are. It's gonna take us.
When you take a person who is bringing a lot of steps forward to the table and you push them away and denigrate their reputation in their name.
With who?
Come on. No,
with who? CeeLo. What influence in her personal life, in her circles, do they have? CeeLo, that's like, I mean, come on now.
My point, that's my point. My point to you is it was to the benefit of the village, and they completely got rid of it. It wasn't for her own personal benefit. That's my other part of the point. She had no personal skin in this game to gain. She was actually trying to bring this to the village. And if you're not helping to build the village and bring that which is positive and step forward, upward, and onward for the village, then you are holding it back. You're taking it backward. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. You
Can I?
No, hold on.
Can I?
No, hold on. So I'm glossing it over, or I'm not focused on that. You know, I mean, I honestly, I mean, it's like what? I mean, it's like I do what I do. I'm not getting in that fight. I said what I had to say, and who's gonna get in the fight? So you're basically saying you're never. It's not even a fight. She's not even part of Tyree. So I don't even understand why she. I mean, and she don't want to be part of Tyree. So what's the issue? Why can't she build something else? If it's CeeLo, I've been kicked out. I done been kicked out the village, or removed from the village, or left the village several goddamn times. And because of what I have established, I'm still able to do what I need to do.
She wanted to join the village.
Hold on.
He said, what is the process?
Hold on. Wait, time out. CeeLo. But you know what this...
You can't say that, I tell you.
Yes, I can. CeeLo.
They're the ones who win her.
CeeLo. If what we... CeeLo.
And I guess that's okay.
CeeLo.
CeeLo. Time after time, year after year, they have ran tons of people off in this community.
CeeLo.
It's impacting them and their ability to build
CeeLo.
and power.
CeeLo. Why are you acting like they're the only game in town? I mean, it's almost like as if... No, they're not.
Because you are.
Who are?
Because you are.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
CeeLo, but no. What evidence do you have, CeeLo, that we're acting like Tawee's the only game in town?
Because we're saying we're going to do Kwanzaa with Tawee.
Because Tawee been doing Kwanzaa.
With them.
Tawee has
See, you missed out on what Hatem and I have.
Again, you haven't given me any updates, so I don't know what the heck has been going on.
No, but see, I want you to really key in on what Hatem and I are trying to do. And in fact, the Gye-Nyame crew, which you are a part of, are trying to do. And that is to establish our cultural holidays. How we get in the way of that? That's what we're trying to do. And again, you attended the workshop with Wakesa, and I strongly encourage the elders, all of them, to do that workshop. As well as Elder Alona is trying to get them all to do the workshop so that they know how to properly handle the problems that arise between us. But see, this is the case. I mean, I can't expect you to know these things because we don't get a chance to chat all like that. But the point is that, look, I'm doing my part. I'm tired of us acting like we're the enemy. Shit. We are not the enemy. We need to focus on who the enemy is. And I feel you, with all the upheaval and inappropriate cultural behavior. I feel you on that. But we are trying to address it. And if we don't even if we don't talk to them, they need to watch our behavior. And they have to. We've made it so that they have to.
And and please understand, CeeLo, we can start having some regular meetings, but even with the regular meetings, I'm not a transparent dude. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, some stuff we just work. And like I said, because it's something might be going on with Makita that you don't even know about yet. You know what I'm saying? Because there's other people that's involved with this that's like, yo, you know, something needs to be done. It's stuff that's going on, but I'm not going to voice all that over here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, we can have meetings. I have no problem with that. I've been meeting over at the school for about 6 years now, at least once a month, moving back towards 2 times a week, 2 times a month. Well, we could come together as adults and do it. You even came to the camping trip, but we haven't sat down and really chopped up business. And I understand your frustration, but please understand that they are not the only game in town, and we can't allow them to be the only game in town. We will be going against our own elder instructions, because actually when you look at the Tawi village, which came from the Rites of Passage Collective, which came out of the African Center, we as individuals are all supposed to have our own jama'as to even sit at the goddamn table. But I don't know, maybe that got changed. I have maintained one for a very long time, and I have opened it up to my fellow nation builders and even some of my elders so that we could go on and start combining and working to get things done. Period. Now, my issue is, and I'm going to be honest with you, CeeLo, my love for my people can't be stopped. Whether it was with Tawi, whether it was with the African Center, whether it was with Brother Nomo, whether it's with me and Simba, what I do is what I do, and none of those people limit me. And I have been able to be producing and creating stuff ever since. They are not the only game in town. They are not the only ones that can make shit happen. We have that ability even more so now as the ranks are growing. That's all I'm saying. CeeLo, I mean, for the reason I'm not looking at that as a major piece, because for me, it's not a major piece, because Makeda jumped from Tawi to going and organizing the festival for Baba because it's in her. She wants to do something, and she's going to plug herself eventually into something that's going to benefit the community in the way that she wants eventually, if that's where her heart is. See, because a lot of us, and part of the issue is, if we were to really start doing initiations, right? Some of this hardship that motherfuckers are experiencing haphazardly will be happening on purpose, and then we still will be beefing about it. This is an initiation for her. How bad do you want to serve the community? And I'm not saying that Tawi has devised this because of wisdom. Maybe this is something that her ancestors is demanding of her. Find your place, baby. Find your place. You know
I think her place was there.
No.
And she definitely
obviously not.
To the table.
Hey, the universe disagrees with you. The universe disagrees with you.
Permission to speak, real quick. Permission to speak.
You don't ask. You the oldest.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Hatem.
Yes, sir.
Has it been made public what Gye-Nyame's position is?
No.
Yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
All right. Well, you know.
We go, and that's why I want to kind of get into this conversation, because we still got shit to do.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, there's a lot of shit going on, CeeLo. This is what I keep on trying to tell people. I say, just look.
You ain't told me what it is, so I ain't got no crystal ball up in here. I don't know.
CeeLo,
all I know is the last thing I was told. No, when you saying that this whatever Kwame just alluded to, I don't know what it is you even talking about. The position of Gye-Nyame with Tawi, I don't know what that is. Again, you told me sitting at my house that there were some things that y'all were thinking about, trying to do in terms of them having, duly election of the elders and all that. And I agree. All that was great. I haven't gotten any updates on whether it's not. This whole thing that whatever it is with Gye-Nyame and Tawi, I don't know what that is. I've gotten no updates. I've got no information.
CeeLo,
I do not know.
CeeLo, you done heard something, but hey, I know you done heard something. I know you done heard something. You know what I'm saying? Please don't reveal. But I know. Wait, hold on. Come on, CeeLo. Now this the whole piece, and then on top of that, you got to feel something, and then I got to ask. And I know you probably don't know me well, but do you trust me? And if you don't trust me, do you trust Kwame? I mean, we've been telling you, you part of Gye-Nyame, and we're going to work with you on that piece, right?
I trust you, but I sometimes, and maybe I'm just a little bit more hardcore. When people do stuff, they need to be thoroughly fucking checked. You guys go a little bit too light on the checking for my taste. Now that's how I feel.
Yeah, but CeeLo, the reason
motherfuckers need to be checked, you need to check their ass hard.
CeeLo,
when you wrong, you're wrong, and wrong is wrong, and sometimes it's very clear what's wrong. But to just say you ain't gonna deal with it for whatever personal reasons you got, but you still allow that bullshit to sit on the table, I got a problem with you with that. Absolutely.
So any problem that comes up, you expect it to be fixed just like that? Is that what I'm supposed to infer?
But to say you're not going to deal with it, or you only got to deal with it this way, or that's my friend, so I'm not. That's my friend, so I ain't going to deal with that.
You're not wearing that. You're not wearing that.
Stop right there.
You're not wearing that.
You've heard me. You've heard me. Did it sound like you said I wasn't dealing with it?
I didn't say you. I ain't said you. I still know what I'm talking about.
Look. No, but understand this. Him speaks. He speaks for Gye-Nyame. When I speak, I understand that I represent Gye-Nyame. Yes, we have disagreements among ourselves, but that does not stand in the way of what we're about.
All right, well, I am about to step into yoga class right now, so it's been real, brothers.
Praise white Jesus.
Praise white Jesus.
See, you're about to get knocked up.
Same to yoga.
Goodbye.
Namaste.
All right,
ladies and gentlemen, we like to welcome you into the Gye-Nyame therapy session. God damn, family, but listen, that's the type of energy that we need, and we don't need to chase that away. We need to we have a platform where we can allow that to be expressed, so I'm gonna have to limit the platforms so that everybody ain't getting some.
Hey, can I put my 2 cents at the end?
Go and put your 2 cents in now, because I need to go and read these comments, because we got comments rolling in.
What we have to appreciate is what the universe has brought to us through conflict is the fact that when we understand that building our own entities it really should have been standard from the jump. Because that is the only way. A business plan for us is like a resume now. Because you have to draw people into either A, numbers, or B, your story. And if within your elevator pitch you cannot expedite them to your story, then we're blocking a lot of blessings. And the whole piece of what I'm saying is that is the advantage of having a horizontal business model than having a vertical one. Is because when you have a vertical, if everybody stood under the umbrella of Gye-Nyame, then somebody try to hit him on some Bill Cosby shit, and all of us are neutralized. All of what we're doing is locked down, right? But in the vertical or in the horizontal.
Go ahead.
You have your nonprofit, they have theirs, I have mine, and I have my for-profit. We understand the relationship between each other. I hail from the Black Phoenix to Gye-Nyame, right? And the piece is that when we understand that from not just our tribal language, but from our business language, we have to understand that we have to think of it as being multilingual because it's not the same thing. When you're speaking from tribe to tribe, that's different than when we're speaking on paper, because when we're speaking on paper amongst the tribes, we're trying to appeal towards those from the outside to draw resources in. And so there's going to be a time where as a brand new nonprofit, you will have to kind of get grandfathered into some of the bigger grant opportunities. You can't just off the bench go and apply for a $250,000 grant because of who you as an individual. You got to build that credibility and that substantiability. Did I just make up a word?
Go find your socks.
But you understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
Is that when people see us, all right. So when people see us on that level, that's when we are building a foundation for something exponential to happen. That exponential thing is not going to come out of one organization. So you put a lot of that's that fear-based thing because we believe more in the underdog syndrome than we're believing in the whole in the whole of what we bring as a people. And sometimes it takes true adversity for us to get knocked on the ground to get up together. And so let's not wait for that point again. It's happened to us time and time in history. Let's just do the right thing. Let's build in a way that everybody understands where we are. Everybody can look at our document and see where we've been. And they can look at our vision and see where we're trying to go. And through that, that's where the conversation of oneness happens. That's where we can see the commonality of how Tim is doing and what CeeLo's doing and what Shaka's doing and what brought us and what Kwame is doing and what brought us into one conversation to step forward and build together.
All right.
Establishing that rhythm of building is what's being demanded right now. So yes, it's time for us to put our vision, our collective vision board on 2019. I'm saying right now, I want to have a quarterly symbiotic cipher. I need to show my presence at least on a quarterly level on that platform, not just show up in Columbus. You understand? So maintaining those roles in the things that we bring and providing that allows us to see on a communal level what our individual function is and why we're necessary. But arguing over why we're necessary is not going to do the same thing.
All right. Now, let me read these comments, then I'm going to get into this toast because I got to get up out of here. God damn, it's been an hour and 37 minutes. I just was planning to do a toast and a quick. I need to keep my damn mouth shut. Because they don't see, Sister Keisha says, because they don't see any incentives as long as, okay, my fault. It's not mental illness. If we learned and knew ourselves, we wouldn't be arguing over this pagan holiday anyhow. Joe Berry said, you build, they will come. You can reprogram them.
Yeah.
When you, Brother Kwame say, when you attack, one is forced to respond like our children were taught yesterday in warrior training. Everybody wasn't there, but they learned something about attack and response yesterday. Everybody, by the way, we are doing shit. I just need people to know. Sister Keisha, my daughter, everybody isn't as fortunate. Some do good to pay bills each month. So the one day that it's expected as a parent, how can you look at your children's faces because you didn't have it to do? So do answer your question. That's why some put their self in compromising situations. May go broke, but the look of your siege faces, priceless. Keisha Harris also says, energy is matched. How can you get mad when your aggression is met with aggression? And she started laughing. Sister Cynthia say, Mama CeeLo got me cracking up over here. Love my sister. Cynthia Johnson says, the best Kwanzaa was a collab with the entire community several years ago when Brother Supreme Understanding came. So it was Tawi, the NOI, and other organizations. Cynthia Johnson is asking what happened to Kwanzaa. Nothing. I mean, some other shit going on, but Kwanzaa is going down as usual. Sister Mawu Netta says, facts, brother, facts. Sister Mawu Netta, welcome to the Circle family. Self-work first need to be done. She says again, facts, brother. We don't know how to get the money. Mawu Netta, facts. I guess, I should have been reading this as we was rolling, but since everybody can say, me either, brother G. I don't know who brother G. Sister Mawu is talking to.
Hey, remember that's our mythical founder of Gye-Nyame.
Oh, okay, cool. Damn, I failed my own test. Damn, damn, Kwame, your memory, god damn.
No, I don't know that to be true, but
yeah,
it just sounded good.
It money out here to seek if fam. That system of facts. Facts itself first. The power of your imagination is a wonderful thing. See what you see, not what you see out. Here, master, your power of the mind. That's what you force on the best outcome for all. So she said, and that is, I guess that's Sister Mawu Netter. And shouts out. So, family, I need to put on the theme music for a minute so I could go and kind of tone us down and bring us in so that we could go and do this. Family, I want to welcome you to the congregation of the mighty, where we often clash and pull out our swords so we could practice to get the real enemy. Hopefully that's what it's for. We practicing so that we can address the real enemy. And this is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Thank you, baby. Of course, this is Daily Toast. This is a Heart of a Simple production.
We strive to blow up our old paradigm.
Well, I actually said it wrong. Well, we strive to blow up your old paradigms. All right, family, we gonna drink your water. I'm gonna play the water song real quick so we get through. I ain't do the water song. I ain't have a chance. Drink your water, family. Open your jar. Let's get the water. If you ain't already drunk it, I drunk half mine. Drink your water. Come on. Drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take a breath with me. Take a breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink. Live for this drink. We press for time, family, so I'm gonna drink this water real quick. We're gonna get, and I gotta get out of here. I gotta get my mama to where she need to be. Nothing like starting your day with water. And I want to thank everybody that participated. If you want to participate even deeper and find out about the activities that are going on, to find out when we are having culturally appropriate holidays and cultural sustaining holidays and meetings and all that, hit me up at 614-300-1875 so that you, 614-300-1875 so that you could keep up with what's going on with Gye-Nyame and all of the other organizations that we are tied into because we are family. Even we don't agree. All right, so I have some of the ambrosia. This one is young as hell, and I put too much honey in it. So those of you that get this one, it's going to be sweet for a while because the yeast is trying. The microorganisms is trying to eat the honey. You can see it, but they ain't making a lot of headway. So I gotta let it breathe just a little bit longer. So, and I got so much trouble on my mind. Refuse to lose. Here's your ticket. So first, giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose, call that Creator. We lift up our health drink and we toast that Creator by the name that you choose. And what do we say in response? We say Ashe. From here, family, we move to our list of ancestors that we have been building up over the last couple of years. 2 years. We on 2 years now, right, family? And, I've been building mine up since I was 21. But, hey, and I'm going to continue building. And one day I will be on this list. One day I'll be on this list. Because somebody's going to carry on the tradition that we started. This is a cultural stabilizer. Daily toast. Participate in the cultural stabilization, family. Hell. All right, first, Colonel Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robert the Texas, Davis, Herman Brown, Senior, Rosalie, Tilly, Georgia, William, Walter, Chris, Fanny, Gasson, Lean, Uncle Chris, Fiend, Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown, second, Barbara Twigs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Chapin, John Fallard, Montague Pittman, Normal Expat, Maya Robin, Fakur, Dr. Marianne Williams, Coach Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusuf Weston, Elder Ageni, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Burford, Hector Jr., J. Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling Lucy Wright, Derek Pullian, the Luster brother, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie Johnson, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Rinderman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kevin D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hodge, Meldale Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Well, Levita Farmer, Augusta Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Al Shamaine, Al Evelyn, Theolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, TC Islam. That's my mom calling. Anybody out there got my mom's number, let her know that we will be done and on our way. TC Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, Mary Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Mary Esther Keats Larice, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles, Watson Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Surgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavina Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Sophia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quills, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quills, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Del Rita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W.S. Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martinez, Elder Amtet Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Delma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey Eleanor Howe, Frank Rustlin Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Pina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, and Ellis Murphy. We on about to move to the book. Here we go. DeFritas Hines, Inez Bostic, Anna Bostic, Winifred Scandal, Barry, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes. Hold on, family. Don't want to throw it off. I just got a text and I got to get up out of here. Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Carter Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sensabaugh, Hazel Gaston, Jerry Bradley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Cathy, Stacey Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irving, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Darren Wilkerson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Gleavis, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Voy Irby, Jim Gaucher, Georgia Haley Johnson, Archie Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, June Evans, Jean Evans, or June Evans. When I see you, Sister Cynthia, you're going to straighten this out for me. Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Aunt Becker, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eulin Andrew Baker, Patricia Edward Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimmel Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harry Tubman Case, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hat Senior, Melly Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nissen, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Doretha Ross, Viola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Nitty Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Manny and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Corford, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Francis, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Harrison, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Albert Moore. Gina! Let me see what you got on. See if you can help Shasha find something too. I don't like what she got on. Albert Moore, Miss Vanilla, Albert Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Earlington Houston. It's real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Henry West Staten, Joe Jamel Alls. Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Beth Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Ramey Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Baba Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders. You need to put on something else. You need a top. It's not summertime no more. You better take the fart face off and do what I said. Catherine Sanders, real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Battles, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan Phyllis Barnett. No, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Urban Sr., Michael Urban, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rayshawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Jacqueline Brawlers, Reginald Oliver, Lyndon Howard, Mazarine Coper, and George Swan, Ed Monia Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael and Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Ann Ferguson, William Ferguson. We lift up all these ancestors, and of course we say Ashe. From there we move to the present moment. We salute this present moment because in this moment is where we can make change. In this moment is where we build. And family, each one of us have an opportunity to get some work done. Let's get the work done. Let's get the work done, right? And let's be busy. We lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there, family, we move on to our children, our children's children, on to infinity. We are responsible for at least the next 7 generations. And we got to start carrying ourselves as such. As such. We got to build for eternity, family. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to build for eternities. They didn't build the pyramids to last for a couple of months, a couple of years, a couple of dynasties. They built for eternity. So when we building, we got to build with eternity on our minds. So we lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there, family, where do we go? We go to all of our relations. We lift up our glass, we say Ashe. From all of our relations, we move to the selfish libation, the selfish toast right here. What is it that you need? What is it that you wish for in this moment? What is it that you plan to work for? Throw some energy out there. The creator and the ancestors are here. You know why? Because we called them. That's how powerful you are. We lift up the glass and we say Ashe. Last but not least, I salute the most powerful being in the room, and it just happened to be you. I want to thank every last one of you for being here, for blessing me with your presence, for tuning in. I am forever grateful. Make sure you make sure you share the conversation. Also, go and get with us on Spreaker so that you can stay up with us and sign up for the app if you have a Android. All that. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? And I apologize to those on Gye-Nyame Journey because once again, we were not able to get on Gye-Nyame Journey, and I can't understand for the life of me. And the signal dropped several times. So damn, I've probably been on here about 2 hours. All right, peace out. This is Brother Hatim. I wish you peace, power, and joy, and we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Peace, power, and joy, and 100 years. I'm out.